Okay, so first off, I want to formally apologize to Mojang. I know I've been kind of hounding them about getting the frames issue fixed with Minecraft. Turns out that wasn't necessarily a Minecraft bug, that was just my own fault. Tamper with some settings I didn't fully understand what the consequences of were, and ended up screwing over my frame rates. But it's fixed now, so it was my fault, not Mojang's. Don't blame them. Second, I want to apologize due to the lack of videos recently, or lately I should say. Kind of a long story, actually a really long story. I'm not going to go into the full details of everything. The two bulk of the reason, the two main reasons why I haven't been uploading. I'm sorry, that I forgot I left my music on. The two reasons why I haven't been uploading a lot recently is because one, I just recently moved. And so we didn't actually have any help, even though we did ask a lot of people. So that took a little bit longer than normal. It took about a week to get everything over here. The other problem is, sorry. The other problem is CenturyLink is once again screwing us over. I complain about CenturyLink a lot, and I guess I really shouldn't because my only other option is this Xfinity, and it's no better. But the problem is, they already shut off our internet at our last place. The problem is that they had scheduled to set up our internet at this place sometime in January 2017. So we did actually talk to them. They rescheduled for last Thursday and never showed up, and the reason being is because we are actually on a copper line, no longer a fiber optic line. So we need a new router. So they ordered that, and they said that they're going to be here tomorrow. But I'm beginning to doubt that it might be a little longer. Maybe 2017 is when we're going to get our internet. So hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully our internet is turned on tomorrow. Just in case, I'm going to record this in advance so that I can upload it once it's on. And hopefully all of that goes well. But anyway, onto the... sorry, not Skittlebits. I almost said Skittlebits. Onto the DeepThought update. So, what you're seeing here is what I've been working on with DeepThought. Now, I need you to I need you to try and keep up with me because there's a lot that's changed because I had a lot of time to work on this. Why is everything suddenly going to shit? Excuse me. I just realized that they just added a new game rule here in 1.11. Do weather cycle, so that's handy. I won't have to type weather clear every 2 seconds now. Anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, a lot of stuff has happened. So try and keep up because, like I said, there is quite a bit going on here. So first things first, I mentioned in my last video that the computer is pretty much working. The only thing I needed to do was try and squeeze this into that, which I sorta did, but I had to redesign my finite state machine a little bit. Not in the way that it's laid out. It was perfectly sized the way it is, just in the way that the finite state machine functions. So I've redesigned the flowchart. I'll have that on the screen so you can study that for yourself. So it's a lot smaller. There's only 11 transitions, but I only have 9 of them recorded. And the reason why is because the other 2 are actually pointing to 0, which if you look at the line means there's nothing there, so there's really no point in me having them there. So I left them out and it works just the same. So just a little shortcut to try and reduce the number of transitions that you have recorded. And then of course, like in the last system, we have the decoder. I chose to go with a similar decoder, but it's a little modified. So it's the same decoder, just a lot faster, basically. And it needed to be faster because I needed each of these lines to take the same amount of time to transition between changes, and that way, because the reason for that is because what was happening was I was getting pulses in these lines. So it would, say that one was on, it would then go to that one, but before it went to that one, this one would turn on for a brief second, so I just kind of modified the decoder to make it a little bit faster to try and avoid that, basically. So yeah, what we've got the program memory hooked up to the finite state machine to the decoder, and the decoder to all the all the control lines, which there is quite a bit. And on the subject of control lines, we also have the control flip-flops up here. Those have been integrated, and the user controls on this side. So Everything's in there, and of course the controls are pretty much the same as those over there, just a few minor details that have been swapped. So we do have the step, and we do have the hold and everything. We also have a reset, and then we have an idle indicator, and this just indicates when the finite state machine is in the wait cycle, and that's necessary because it's not a good idea to reset unless it's in the wait cycle. In fact, it prevents you from resetting unless it's in the wait cycle, so there's actually an AND gate on the reset line that prevents you from resetting it. So you can't reset it unless it's, you know, in wait, basically. Yeah. And then, of course, I've extended the bus here to the end of the computer just to demonstrate, I guess, that this is going to be expandable. And then, of course, over here is where we're going to be putting memory and I/O, which I don't have yet. But I do have one register here that I've been using to test some functions. And like I said, this thing does work. In fact, I'll even run through it if you want. Or not if you want, I'm definitely going to, but yeah. So we've got one register, and I've just been using that to run some tests just to make sure that the in and out function works. Reset line's been added. A lot of small details that I don't care to go over. There is one thing with the clock that I do want to mention. I was expecting to use a much faster clock. I had to slow it down a bit because the computer, there is a little bit of like timing sensitivity, I guess. So the clock is tuned to the perfect time. It's about as fast as it can go before things start to break. So that's why I got the sign there, clock is tuned, do not touch. So it is a little slower. I believe it's about 2 seconds per cycle, something like that. 4 seconds, somewhere around there. So it's a little slower, but it's still pretty quick. A lot faster than Skittlebits, I'll say. Yeah. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check out a program. So I've actually got a program written in here already. And what this is, if I remember this correctly, because I wrote this a while ago, I believe we're loading into the accumulator that information, then we're storing it out into address 0, which I don't have the addressing system set up, so it's just basically pushing it out to that extra register. Then we're loading into the accumulator again this information, and then we are loading in the information from the register and adding it together. I think this was a load out. Yeah, so this brings it back out into the register. This is a jump if false, jump if true, and both of these are checking the carry flag, and the reason for that is to test to make sure that it's ignoring the jump and then acknowledging the jump, and if it's acknowledged, it'll jump to line 15 over here. That's just to make sure. That's why the the clock is tuned the way it is, just to make sure that it has enough time to retrieve the data all the way up here, because it takes a lot longer for the data up here to get to the finite state machine than the data down there. So that's why I had to jump all the way to the end there. So this is the last instruction line here, and that's just a halt. So that's to test to make sure it's halting. And we'll get some nice music whilst we're watching this go. So I'll go ahead and put it in the hold state, reset it. We're going to get a little bit of lag here. Take it out, and we'll watch it run. So like I said, the first instruction is the set accumulator. So as you can see, it's gone and set it to that one data value that I showed you, incremented the program counter, and now it's idle. And you'll notice that the amount of time it takes for the computer to get out of idle versus other states is a lot longer, and the reason being is I actually have a wait system set up, and again, this is to make sure that it has enough time to retrieve data from the program memory, but it actually takes 2 clock cycles when it's in the idle state versus any other state, which only takes 1 clock cycle. So that's just to ensure that it has enough time to retrieve the data from program memory without slowing the whole computer down. So it's already taken from the accumulator, put it into the external register. It's already loaded the accumulator with the new value, and now it's going to add the two together. Or sorry, it's going to bring that out, I guess. Oh, it's already added it together. I'm sorry. It's added it together. It's brought it out. So now it's going to go into the jumps. So it's going to go... it's already doing double PC increments because it skipped the first jump, and now it should be going to the second jump, where it will successfully jump to 15. So if I go down here, you'll see now the program counter is at 15, and any second now we should see a halt signal. And there you go. So, kind of a short little video. I think that was maybe like 5-6 minutes, though I've been known to be completely off on those matters. But that is Deep Thought working. So all that's left, like I said, is to give it the working memory and maybe a few I/O peripherals. Like I said, I was thinking just basics, one input, one output, and a random number generator, maybe. And of course, like I said, there's room for more. But that is pretty much it. Yeah, that's what I wanted to show you. So, like I said, I'll be sure to get this out as soon as I've got internet, hopefully tomorrow. And that said, I think we're really close to seeing the finish of this. We might, you know, the next Deep Thought blog that I post might very well be the last one, and then I'd be releasing it. So hopefully that is the case. Hopefully I'm getting this, because if so, this will probably be one of the shortest computer projects I've done. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll be sure to see you guys in the next video. And if you want to remain notified on when these videos are released, be sure to subscribe. It's always appreciated. Bye!